Here's another video from American Patriot. Uh, so today I want to talk about the big thing in Washington today and the politicians is the subject of misinformation. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's find out exactly what misinformation to them means. Because it seems to me that the only time they call it misinformation is whenever it's against the agenda, their ways, their plans. That's the only time it seems to be misinformation. Now, I say that because we all know what misinformation really means, but according to them, it's a whole different thing. If you, for example, I listen to Biden say something about how it's almost like people that said anything against the way they reacted toward their response for the hurricane victims, almost like we're going to regret saying what we have said. But in truth, we said nothing but the truth. They screwed that all up majorly, and the whole world knows that. Not just the people in America, but the whole world knows that. Now, my thing is, let's find out. Let's take this misinformation for a ride and let's figure out if it truly is misinformation. So, did they not respond days after the hurricane to help the Americans? I don't see that being misinformation. Everybody knows that's exactly what happened. Did FEMA not show up over there and do nothing? Did FEMA not say that they didn't have money to help Americans because they gave the money pretty much to illegals? I don't think that's misinformation. I know for a fact that that's what happened, and so does everyone else in the country. Is it misinformation that we watched a video of an unmarked helicopter hovering over relief supplies and blowing them all over the place? Let me guess, that was our helicopters that did that? The ones that we keep in our backyards? Or was it their helicopters that did that? They're pissed because they don't have control of everything. Misinformation now is a big thing because they can't control the narrative, which they could only control it through mainstream media because they own that and the elitists own that. But now, because of platforms like Rumble and X, they can't control that. So we get to speak to each other as we should as Americans, as free speech allows us to. So now they're angry and want to control that too. What part of it is it that they don't understand that we know the difference? Why is it that they're convinced that we're like ignorant and like we don't know what's going on in our country? Like we don't know the corruption in Washington. Like we don't know that they sold themselves out to the elitist, the globalist, and corporations. We see it every day. This is not something that we needed media, social media, or mainstream media to tell us any different. We know we don't need you to tell us how to think. And just because they at one point convinced a few people in this country to believe everything they say, they have taken that as, oh, they all think the same way. But we don't. We don't. We are anti-government if we don't agree with them. We are extremists if we don't agree with them. We are deplorables We are all kind of things and all labels that they put on us because we are free thinkers and we can think for ourselves. And we can't be programmed with lies and propaganda. So we're the bad guys. But in truth, they're the masters of the misinformation. You know, this whole thing with the climate, for example, it is a true fact that the carbon footprint of the world is 0.04, not even a 1. But here they are pushing their agenda that the sky is falling and that the world's going to end. And then they got people running out there, oh, the climate, the climate, the climate. But science doesn't say that. And when they say things like 97% of scientists agree with us, no, those are the 97% of scientists that are funded by federal government funds, so they better say what the federal government tells them to say. That's what they mean by that. And we know that as well, right? So misinformation, on and on with that, hell-bent. You see Kamala Harris talking about all the same rules for Facebook. We have to have that for X and everyone else. Translation to that is, we control Facebook too. So that means that we have to control everyone else. Not everybody's going to want to be controlled. Not everyone wants to hear that. And we always know the people that are telling the truth, because those are the ones that the government comes after right away. They want to control the narrative no matter what the cost. So they will come after everyone that's against them. For example, now they're coming after Elon Musk hard. Government's checking this, checking that, breaking his balls about, violations, this and that. They're only doing that because he's not part of them. And he doesn't want to be part of them. So every time you go against them, the corrupt is pretty much what it comes to, or the globalists or the elitists or the corporations. Here they come with every puppet they bought in Washington with money, coming against the people of this country all the time. It's the same thing over and over. This is not like a secret. This is not like something that we don't understand what's going on. We see it. It's plain as day. It's clear as day. There's no science to it. So there's another thing. They are also convinced, the government is convinced, for example, that because of Donald Trump, they can't take total control of things. But in truth is, it's more than just Donald Trump. We love Donald Trump because he believes in this country like we do. We love Donald Trump because he is for a government of the people, the way we want it to be as well. So they look at him as a major threat, and he's in the way of their total control and their tyrannical rule and everything else. But the truth is, there's millions of us that think the same way. It's not just a one-man show. It's the leader that we want to put in power, and we're the power behind that leader. That's another thing that they don't seem to understand. Oh, Donald Trump is making people think this or think that. No, we've always thought this. True Americans have always thought this way. God, family, country. It's the way it's always been. We always see America as a constitutional republic. We don't see it as a democracy neither. That's just some crap that they made up. We don't believe in that. I don't believe in that democracy crap. That's not even part of us. We're a constitutional republic, a nation of laws. Now they veer from that because that means, keyword, laws, of nation of laws. And because they're lawless and they hate the law, and criminals all hate the law, including all the ones with suits on. They're no different than a hoodlum hanging out in the corner with a hoodie on. They're doing the same thing. They're criminals just the same. It doesn't change anything. Just like Big Pharma. Big Pharma's a drug dealer, just like any drug dealer on the corner of the street. There's no difference there. And it's simple to see. And people like us know this. At least when you buy drugs from a drug dealer in the street, you know what you're getting. With Big Pharma, you don't know what you're getting. You're actually getting poisoned. And it's even worse. But they use the law to do these kind of things. And this is the way of our world today. So my thing is, misinformation is getting thrown away around a lot because this is the other new angle that they have now to try to come after platforms that are able to speak and where people can exchange opinions and speak freely. Unlike everything they control, that whatever you say, if they don't like it, they'll either cut you off live stream like they do with mainstream media, or they suspend your account like they do with Facebook. Because what you said isn't what they want to hear. And then my thing is, okay, so if it's hate speech, right, and it's misinformation, who are the people that decide that? The ones that don't like what you have to say? The ones that want to control the world and make things the way they want to make them? Are those are the people that are going to determine what's true and what's not? Why is an opinion hate speech? Where did they come up with that? If you say something and you're wrong about what you're saying, if you say 2 + 2 = 6, is that hate speech? Is that misinformation? Who cares, man? If that's what you believe, that's your issue. It doesn't matter. Just like right now, you got people that believe they're cats and they're dogs and all that. Most of us understand that, there's issues out there. But we don't hate those people because they think that way. That's their business. We just go about our lives and mind our own business. But when we talk, when we the people talk, oh, that's not good. Whatever we got to say, there's a problem with that. I watch a lot of people out here in America being so anti-American, so anti-free speech. I personally believe these people have just had it too good too long, and they've been spoiled. So they have no idea what it's like not to have the things that you have and the things that are given to you because of this Constitution, the same one they want to get rid of, because of your rights, the rights that they want to get rid of, because of your free speech, the free speech they want to get rid of. They're under the impression that if they flow with what the government tells them to do, that at the end, even if, let's just say, even if the government were to achieve shutting down the whole country and programming it to what they want, these people on the left believe that they're going to get some kind of special treatment when they achieve that goal. Little do they know that the elitists and the globalists hate the left and the right just the same, and that there isn't going to be any special treatment for anyone. They're only using you to achieve their goal, and once that goal is achieved, you're useless to them, just like the politicians that are helping them achieve this goal as well. Once those globalists achieve their goal and they don't need them anymore, they're going to look at you just the same. And this is the reason why I think that it is a foolish way to think, for people to really believe that they're going to be treated differently because they've helped monsters achieve their goal. Little do they know that the monsters hate them just as bad. They hate us more on the right because we're more resilient and we will not just bow, and they know that we can think for ourselves. So that makes us a problem, right? They got to remove us out of the way because we're in the middle of it. The left has no idea. They're clueless to what's going on here. They're just flowing and listening to CNN and repeating everything like parrots. They have no idea of what's going on here in the real agenda that these politicians have. Look at Obama. Obama came out there out of his mansion in Martha's Vineyard and comes over and starts talking to black young men, telling them how they need to vote. Can you imagine the disrespect this guy just showed to black Americans by telling them what they need to do? See, this is what I'm talking about. To the point that they're going to tell you who you need to vote for, regardless of how you may feel. As if black America doesn't realize the destruction that they have caused. As if black America can't tell that this has nothing to do with color or race. As if they can't tell and understand that at the end of the day, we're all suffering. But they do understand, don't they? You see the videos today? They've about had it with all of them. They don't even want to hear what Obama got to say. Because we as a nation have realized that this has nothing to do with the devices that they've used to keep us divided. And that's what got them to the position that they've gotten to have programmed so many people. But America's waking up real quick and real fast, ain't it? Things ain't going smoothly like they thought. Everyone's realizing that everyone is paying high gas prices, right? Everybody's realizing that their rents are out of control. Everyone's realizing that their government has their hand in their purses and in their wallets all day. Everyone realizes that food has gotten to a point that people are just struggling real bad. And all those facts right there have nothing to do with color, race, or creed. At the end of the day, it's like I've always said in my past videos, we need to stop calling each other Hispanics and blacks and this and that. You know what? White people. Now, listen, all around the world, when we travel outside of our country, people look at us and they don't say, hey, are you Puerto Rican? Hey, are you black? Nope. You know what they say? Are you an American? Everywhere in the world, everyone knows us as Americans when we travel abroad. The only place that the politicians have divided that is here in the United States. And we need to stop talking that way and going with these ridiculous division tactics and realize that we are all Americans. Our skin tone and our race has nothing to do with anything. If you're a legitimate American and you're a citizen of this country, you're an American. And it has nothing to do with your color. Not even the slightest, in the slightest way does that matter. And we as a nation are waking up. This big sleeping giant is waking up so fast. And it's happening real quick. because we realize that their agenda is way in advance and we need to slow that down and shut that down. And we're realizing that the only way to achieve that is through our unity as Americans, not as blacks, not as Latins, not as whites, but as Americans in unity with one goal. And the goal is to keep America free from tyranny. That is the goal. You know, there are things about this country. There are people that run around here in this country and they don't even want a government and things like that. But in truth, we know that we need a government. We need laws to keep the nation civil so they don't become animals. We need politicians so they can deal with our world issues, our economics, our economy. We need all that. But what we don't need are corrupt politicians. That is what we don't need. They're a disease to our country. They're the ones that tear at our fabric. One thing that I seen on one of the videos today is that they're looking to try to change our flag to make it more inclusive. Let me tell you something. The American flag, just like our Constitution, is not up for discussion. Our flag will stay exactly the way it is right now. We will not change that. 7 red, 6 white, 50 stars. That's it. We are not interested. You want to get crazy? You want to get believe all kind of things that are not in the real world, and that's all great. Do your thing. But don't try to change our country's way, because it's not going to happen. You are not going to desecrate our flag. That is not going to happen. I'm going to tell you something personal about me. I'm a Hispanic. I'm born and raised here in America my whole life, generations, right? Now, people from Puerto Rico, my ancestors and stuff, have been Americans since 1915. We've had American status and we've been citizens since. This is why we're able to just fly back and forth to Puerto Rico without passports and things like that. Me, on the other hand, I was born and raised here. But here's the thing. Even though I have my culture and I am Hispanic, I'm an American first. I will protect this country with my life to the fullest. I am nothing else. I am an American first. I fly the American flag. That is the flag that I fly. A lot of people of my culture might see this video and say, oh, how can he say something like that? Well, it's real simple. This is America. This is where I live. This is my home. Everything else is second nature to it. I believe in the American dream. I believe in the Constitution. And nothing in this world is going to change that. Not going to change it. No politician, none of that. So people say, oh, well, that guy is brown, so he should, no. He should nothing. I'm a true patriot. I'm a true American, and nothing's going to ever change that. Ever. Not going to happen. You will not use race, creed, or anything else to change my mind ever. That is never going to happen. I'm an American now, and I'm going to die an American with my beliefs, period. There is no other way. I think that we in America have allowed these politicians and everything else to change our way of thinking. And a lot of people have allowed this government with their rhetoric to separate and divide us as a nation. And we need to realize that that has to be put to the back burner. That is not what we need to be worried about right now. Our number one priority right now is our country and our fellow brothers and sisters as Americans. And we must unite as a people to save our country and protect ourselves from our enemies, domestic and foreign. And we already know who the domestic enemy is. And we definitely know who our foreign enemies are. So, misinformation, like I said, is just a ridiculous word that they're throwing around. Because when you're speaking truth, you're speaking misinformation according to them. If you don't believe what they want you to believe, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a white nationalist, you're all this other crap that nobody gives a shit about. Nobody dictates to me what I can say and what I cannot say. And as long as I am not hurting anyone, and I'm not talking about hurting your feelings are not my problem. When I speak a truth, if your feelings are hurt, that is not my problem. That is your problem. And as long as I ain't threatening no one or inciting riots or anything like that, my freedom of speech is untouchable. And I'm pretty sure most Americans think like that and agree with me on that point. We don't need anyone telling us what to do and how to do it. It's just not the way things work. And just because a handful of people have decided to go with that flow, it doesn't change the fact that at least 85% of this country is not going with that flow. You see this election right here that's coming up right now? This election is going to determine whether there's peace in our country and unity, or it's going to determine whether the country tears itself up from within, and on the outside of our country, we end up in World War III. Those are the two defining points right there. There is no other point. So, make a choice and think hard about what I just said. It's not going to be a game this time. This ain't going to be about feelings being hurt. This is going to be a lot more than that if it goes south, let me tell you. One of the things that people don't seem to understand out here that are running around protesting and causing all kind of mayhem in our country is that we the people just want to be left alone. Stay out of our business. Don't tell us how to talk and what we need to do and how we need to do it. Let us go about our ways. Let us work. Let us do what we got to do and take care of our families and stay out of our lives. That's it. That's it. The biggest worry that I have right now for America and us as a nation is this. Most good men that are out here just working, doing what we need to do, we just don't want to be pushed to a point that we're going to have to rise. Because at that point, it's not going to be good. Good men are going to have to do bad things, and we don't want that. We do not want to be pushed to that point. That's not a good thing. It really is not a good thing. So no matter who you are as a person in this country, what you do for a living, whether you work in public service, cop, fireman, whatever, you're going to have to choose a side. It's coming to that. You're going to have to choose a side. You're either going to choose your country and your countrymen, or you're going to choose the side of a tyrant that looks at you like you're nothing but a dog. You're nothing but a person that could be bought with $10. That's what that side is. So eventually, men in this country are going to have to make that choice. A lot of us know exactly where we stand. If it ever came down to something like that, that whole excuse about I was just following orders, that ain't going to cut it. That excuse is not even going to work, not even close. This is some serious shit we're talking about here. This is a real problem. If you go against us, if you go against the country, then you're a domestic enemy. There is no other way to see this. Not even close. Now you got people out here running around talking about, there could possibly be a civil war. Let me tell you something. The real Americans and patriots of this country are not interested in civil war. No. We know who the true enemy is, and it is not our countrymen, as confused as they can be. It is those that want to destroy our country. It is those that want to destroy our way of life. It is those that keep taking our freedoms. It is those that keep implementing laws that take our freedoms. It is those that keep confiscating our property. It is those that keep stealing our money. It is those that keep poisoning us with medicine and medications. It is those that keep contaminating our food. It is those that keep contaminating our atmosphere, our air, and our waters. Those are the enemy of the United States and its citizens. And those are the people that we have our eye on. We're not interested in the civil war that you would love to play out. Not going to happen. The left could keep rambling on and talking all they want. We're just deaf to that. Because just because they're blind and can't see and they got brainwashed, it doesn't mean that we the people are brainwashed that way. Not at all. Don't underestimate the power of this country. The power of this country is not the federal government. The power of this country is we, the people. That's the true power of this country, and we know it. That's the thing. So, all this said, I hope that everything continues on the way it's going right now. And I don't think that it's going to be as easy as they think to take over this country and shut it down like that. America is the last hope and the last light of the world against evil and the evil entities that want to destroy this country. America is going to determine. Our fall means that the whole world falls. Our rise in victory means that the rest of the world wins in victory. I am not threatening anybody. I am not saying anything that isn't true. I am just defending and speaking in defense toward the ones that are trying to threaten me, my family, and our citizens. I am just speaking simple things just like they're doing it. So with this, Patriots, I say to you, God bless you. God bless America, and God help us all.